All right. Uh, Welcome back. Now we'll continue from the ADHD. We were talking about the treatment management, but now we would be talking about the certain assessment that would be required for any psychologist to determine if the child is having ADHD. Those are the particularly preferred, or you can say the diagnostic tools for the ADHD. The first one is child behavior checklist. That is the overall checklist for the children's behavior, where we actually normally have a distributed range of behaviors. Okay. And after the whole a bunch of scenario, when we recalculate or you can say the analyze the test or the checklist, we can determine if the client or the child is having some kind of disturbance. All right. There is a student who just have happened to ask if we have some kind of YouTube channel. Just yes, we have, and we have also mentioned that in our lectures. We have a YouTube channel with the name of the Science of Psychology, and you can just get those lectures there as well. We timely upload those lectures there as well. All right. So let's just recontinue. And we were talking about the child behavior checklist. The second one is ADHD checklist in the DSM. If you happen to open the DSM and you happen to see the last chapter of the DSM, that is regarding the assessment. All right. Let me just look after it and let you know what is the particular page number to determine these evaluations. Right. Let's just take some moment. And yes, that is page number. Okay, that is the page number 8 or 9 for the appendices, and you can just start starting there, and you will find the certain particularly device checklist in the DSM for the particular disorders. All right, and one of them is the ADHD checklist in the DSM-5. All right, then comes the third one. Okay. Then comes the third one, that is the strength and difficulties questionnaire that have been practiced lately a lot in the public as well as the private sectors hospitals. This particular questionnaire have a subscale of conduct disorder and ADHD behaviors. You can use that particular subscale to determine the tendencies of the ADHD in the children as well. All right. Then comes the Wineland Adaptive Behavior Scale. That is a very much a vast domain of scale. Actually, we have been discussing the scale lately, and its comprehensive form. It's basically have three kind of forms: interview form and the initial form, where that is particularly regarding the initial form for the parents as well as for the guardians. The third one is the comprehensive form. The comprehensive form is very much regarding the observation kind of form, and you can particularly use that form very well. So, in that particular scale, you have a variety, or you can see the range of scales to determine range of problems there. All right, they have externalizing behaviors. They have a particular subscale for determining the uh, particular disorders regarding the you can say particular disorders like psychosis, like disruptive behaviors, like ADHD, like conduct disorders. All right. So you have a very much you can say accessibility towards the neurodevelopmental disorders in case of Vineland adaptive behavior scale. All right. So we have talked about each and every possible way about the ADHD. Now we would be talking about a case study. Here we have a case of a male, and he is 10 years old with presenting complaints have been discussed in the Urdu, but let me just translate it for the international students. The patient is stubborn, gets irritable, doesn't sit tightly for like from the past 4 years. Um, um, doesn't have a very much recognition of colors or the objects lately from the like past 5 years. Doesn't spoke very much, and it's been like from like 5 to 6 years. All right, the client is obviously 10 years old right now, and the other one complaint is can't sit tightly on the single place like from last 3 to 4 years. Then can just continue a long term discussion from like 6 years. All right. And the writing problem was also reported by the teacher that he is not very much consistent to complete the tasks over the period of time. So those were the particular tests that were administered in the school setting to assess that particular child, including the clinical interview, obviously, to take the history. Then comes the visual analog, and the other one is Vineland Adaptive Behavior Scale. Then comes the DSM checklist for the ADHD. All right, here comes the history for the child. That is, his problem started. Parents noticing started noticing the problem at the age of 3 years of the client, where he wasn't walking and still beyond his developmental milestone, especially the speech. Right, and after that period of time, his behavioral problems, or especially his inattention, was actually making the things more out of hand. All right, and no prior treatment was taken at that particular time, and he also suffered from the iron deficiency and got hospitalized and have weight loss. All right, so child living with his parents, have one elder sister. Father is 35-year-old, mother is 34-year-old. They are not so much very old to actually, you can say they are not so out of range parents that the mother or maternal bodily care can be the reason for such kind of problem. No, it's not like that. All right. Father was from a lower socioeconomic status. He was uneducated, having a working being a worker in the attire shop. Mother was an uneducated housewife. All right. Sister also happened to had two surgeries for the cleft palate. All right. So father was diagnosed with the hepatitis C. There was no particular psychopathology in the family being reported. All right. So when we happen to have observed the children, these were the visual analogs. All right. These were the ratings for each kind of behaviors we described lately. Uh, these were the ratings given by the informant. That was his mother. All right. So we happen to have discriminate with what are the particular more disoriented or more negative behaviors or perceived behaviors to be worked on. All right. So here comes the DSM, sorry, the VBS or Vineland Adaptive Behavior Scale scoring for that particular child. He happened to have a very much low score on the communication domain, and relatively had a very adequate scoring on the daily living skills, but on in case of the socialization, had a very severe level of scoring there. All right, and we had discussed they have a low level of communication just because they stay out of mind. and they can't sit properly. They speak very insensitively and just continue to be on the motor all the time. So that can be the reason for their score on the low communication. Then, in case of socialization, obviously, people can't afford the running motor all the time. They can't actually prefer the people on the go. So that can be the reason for the severely low score in case of socialization. All right. So this was the a particular checklist score of the DSM-5 TR for ADHD. In case of inattention, the symptoms were met for 6 or more of the months, and 8 of the 9 symptoms, actually 8 symptoms of the inattention was found in the client. In case of hyperactivity or impulsivity, 6 or more of the symptoms were the criteria. But in case of the child, he had 6 out of 9 symptoms as present. So basically, the both of the combined form was indicated in the child. All right. So this was the reason that tentative diagnosis was primarily mentioned as intellectual disability because of being having a low score in 2 particular domains of um, uh, Vineland Adaptive Behavior Scale. We discussed priorly that it was basically for the adaptability or adaptive behaviors. But lately, when we distinguish that the child is having ADHD kind of problem with the combined type presentation, this waveform, that can lead to this kind of scoring as well. So the final diagnosis was established as the attention deficit hyperactive disorder. All right. Small goals were established like that, like handshaking, passing the card, color me, I'm red. These were the particular activities that were basically used to make him involved in the particular sitting pattern. All right. We have discussed this kind of supportive classroom structure in case of psych treatment of the ADHD. All right, that was basically the task focused style or the brief assessments. All right, so these are the few brief assessments or assignments we used just to make him sit properly, just to make him go attentively towards the task over the period of time. All right, for the socialization skills, those were the particular tasks that we worked on, including the handshaking, turn taking, and passing the game card to make them actually realize to wait for their turn. All right. It takes some time. Obviously, it takes a lot of time to work and to develop such kind of behavior in particular children who doesn't actually have that kind of behavior. We have to shape that behavior in that child. So it takes time, but you can work on it very well. All right. And the results can be very much astonishing. Waiting skills, active listening, all right, group activities can be practiced. All right. So overall, we have worked on the main therapies, including the behavior modification, including the tangible reinforcements or the prompts over the period of time. We have used occupational therapy, like the graded tasks, like this educational support by contacting the school as well. We devised the parental training or the educational support program for that particular child. So that was the case study to make you guys realize. And here is the case formulation for that study. All right. In a case of this particular case, we discussed about the history. Overall, the predisposing factor was determined as the delayed development and the cousin marriage of the parents. All right. Precipitating factors was not found because there was no medical treatment acquired, but the perpetuating factors was found as the parents' non-compliance behavior for the sessions. All right. Like the child is 10 years old and they have been noticing this behavior from like past 4, 5, 6 years, as they have already mentioned in their presenting complaint, but still they are not very much compliant towards the sessions. All right. So these were the presenting complaints we found lately, including can't sit at one place, delayed milestones development, especially the speech, having inattention, not adequately identify the colors or the things, all right, non-compliant behaviors, and difficulty in understanding the sentences. So this was the overall summary for that particular case. I hope you guys have understand the ADHD and its relative concept very well. If you guys still have any kind of question, you can mention us and at our YouTube channel, that is the Science of Psychology, and we would share the link with you guys as well. Please like, share, and subscribe to stay updated. Stay tuned with our lectures and upcoming courses as well. All right, support us and remember us in your prayer. All right, thank you so much. Allah.